Hey, what's going on out there, everybody? This is Simulator here representing Team JVS here to give you guys a review straight from South by Southwest. I'm talking about Civil War from Alex Garland. Alex Garland is back. If you know Ex Machina, if you know Annihilation, if you know 28 Days Later, this is the man behind that. And what he was able to do with this is very unprecedented because this is based on a dystopian America that essentially has military embedded journalists that are racing to try to get to DC because something is possibly going to happen within the White House, while the United States as a whole is crumbling around it. But the basis of the film is not just about the Civil War, it's about the people. It's about the devotion of these specific individuals that are journalists. They are putting their lives on the line to pursue something that they trying to comprehend and understand. And it is phenomenal. This is a crazy movie. I cannot believe the lengths that they went with this film. But the cast, though, I got to give them their credit because this is starring Kirsten Dunst, Wagner, Moura, Cailee, Spaeny. It's also got Jesse Plemons, Nick Offerman, Stephen McKinley, an amazing cast. And the thing about this film that caught me off guard is that again, normally his wheelhouse is kind of like science fiction. Like, yes, it's kind of like post-apocalyptic situations, but normally it's like a little bit of level like science fiction going on. These are very real world implications that people are dealing with from a fear standpoint. A lot of people are fearing, the dissension that's going on between different peoples and groups all over the world, but specifically here. And so I think that I don't want people to believe that this is pro um everything that needs to be okay, we're going and descending into a civil war. The theme of this movie is really around the relationships and the devotion of the people that are going through the process of covering everything that's happening in the midst of their own turmoil. Anybody that you've seen like on the news or people that are in war torn situations and they are just pressed, those people have to do things and put themselves in danger in ways that you can't really truly comprehend. But because the goal that they're trying to get is not just even a story, but they're trying to get the photograph, the imagery, the understanding, so that people on the outside can be able to have a glimpse and a feeling of what's actually happening. Sometimes for their own specific gain, sometimes it's for a purpose. The thing that I loved about this film is the relationships with every single one of these individuals. Kirsten Dunst gives a powerful performance in this one because the thing about her character, you you rally behind the idea of her, but you can tell that she is jaded, she is war torn, and she is plagued with so many different things from what she's had to confront and what she's had to deal with being in this limelight that she's in. And I thought that the way that she started to intersect with certain characters, like Wagner's character or Cailee's character, I think it was very unprecedented. I think that the way that she kind of had carried herself in this performance was really good. Now, Cailee in this, Cailee Spaeny plays this young journalist who really just admires Kirsten's character, and she wants to be her. She wants to understand, like, how did her character get to that point. And as you're kind of going through it, you're going through the lenses of both Kirsten's character and Cailee's character. And when they intersect, their scene chemistry is off the charts. It is so good. Now, normally I go off of like VFX and shot for shot cinematography and the sound design. All that's perfect in this. This is actually the second masterpiece film that I've seen this year. The first one, of course, is Doom Part Two, but this one is the second because again, I'm just talking just off of their acting capability and the way that they presented it within the script that Alex provided. Now, when you go off of the scope of this film, it is insane. Like when I watched the film in Texas, I thought it was very interesting irony that the movie goes from the bare south, like Texas area, and moves all the way up to Washington, D.C. And throughout the course of that, you see such acts of violence and at the same as that time, ignorance and lack of understanding of what's really happening throughout each state and how it actually things are just different. And it is very hard to watch. This is not for children in any capacity. This is very violent. Um, in the way that they handle the photography for certain scenarios that the journalists are putting themselves in harm's way is really harsh to watch. But the cinematography, shot for shot, it is amazing. Some of the shots they got in this are some of the best of the year. And it's really down to Dune and Civil War at this point. And when you think about like sound, there are certain scenes, and I'll set the stage for one. There was a scene that um it was this one right here where it was quiet. There's no noise, there's no trucks, there's no gunfire. It's just quiet. So the smallest little moment, you're just on the edge of your seats, and they build tension that way through the sound design. But surprisingly enough, the actual soundtrack is upbeat. And so what it does is it off puts this feeling that, oh, you're trying to drive a narrative, you're trying to project a certain kind of feel. Like, no, like every single scene where you're seeing these journalists do their job is just about that. And like I love how they use that symbiotically through the storytelling of the narrative of this, as well as through their performance. But again, make no mistake, there are some seriously messed up scenes, and I just want to make sure that you guys are bracing yourselves because it is very hard. It's very harsh, and if you've seen any of Alex's other films, you know he's very unapologetic when he's trying to drive something home. But I think that he did not miss the mark in this one. This is one of his best films that he's ever made, and this is in its own right, in my opinion, a masterpiece. I highly recommend you go and check out Civil War. Do not take your kids to see it. I did not reveal anything about the narrative or the plot progression for. I think I want you guys to go into this completely surprised and go through the same exact experience as me. I watched this movie without even seeing the trailer, and I felt I was just on my coattails, not knowing where it was going to go. So go and check out Civil War when it drops. Let me know what you guys think when you do check it out. I know you guys are going to probably watch it much later when you actually see this review, but I'm just letting you guys know this is absolutely a masterpiece. 10 out of 10. I'll talk to you guys a little bit later on. Keep it locked. JVS, we ain't gonna stop. Take care. Have a good one, guys. Bye.